4 weeks ago to the day, I broke both my arms. And as a self-employed person, as you can imagine, that wasn't very good. I'm a freelance filmmaker, so I can't carry cameras, I can't move lights, any of that. So I've basically been out of work for 4 weeks. But I've come out of the other side, I'm almost better, and I've learned 5 lessons that I thought I would share just in case you break both of your arms and you're a freelance filmmaker or a self-employed person in the creative arts. Lesson 1, insurance. I went with the most boring one first. I do not have income protection insurance, and you might be thinking, what? Or you might be thinking, what? Either way, no, I don't. And income protection insurance is this. Basically, you pay every month, and then if something like this happens, they won't give you as much as you would normally make, but they will give you some money to live off, which would have been pretty useful. But I don't have that, and so what I've realized now is that as a man who has children and a mortgage now, I really should probably have something like that. So I started looking into it, and there's a few companies who offer pretty good policies, and I mean, I don't really want to go into it because it's so fucking boring, and that's the problem. But anyway, I will do that, but I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, all right? Lesson 2, client relationships are key. So as soon as this happened, one of the first things I did when I was sitting on the sofa was, I need to get in touch with some clients. First of all, to tell them that I can't do jobs that I had booked, but also just to let some of my more regular clients know what had happened to me, because I wanted to basically say to them, listen, I'm not going to be around for the next 4 or 5 weeks, but in 4 or 5 weeks, I'm going to be around. Like, I need work. So if there's anything that you've been thinking about doing, can we please try and align it up for when I re-emerge from my injury? And I've had a bit of success with that. There's something in the works. So it was worthwhile. But the point is, I've been open with those guys because I have a good relationship with them. And I basically have said to them, listen, like, I'm skint. I've just paid my tax bill at the start of the year, and then I've been hit with this. So it's useful to, 1, have those relationships, and 2, to use them in a kind of informal way, because actually everyone's human. Everyone knows the struggle. Everyone knows how expensive life is these days and all that. And I'm really glad that I've cultivated those relationships. So, lesson 3, priorities. My priorities might not be right like I thought they were. You see, I've been working for a while on building a program, an education program, teaching people what I do, how to have a career like I have. And it's a kind of real passion for me. It's something completely new, and I really enjoy the act of creating lessons and teaching. But I started this in June, and since then I haven't actually worked on it as much as I thought that I would, or as much as that I wanted to. And the interesting thing about that is I thought that this was a real priority for me, but I've actually had to focus a lot on work and family. And when I've had any downtime, I've maybe not worked on this in the way that I could. I've maybe not made enough time to work on this. I've definitely worked on other projects that I could have just left aside and focused on this for. And I wanted to do that. And I thought that I was prioritizing this, but in the past 4 weeks, I've managed to build the first iteration of this program, and it's almost ready to launch. There's a link in the description below. You can join the waitlist if you're interested. It's about finding your first client in 30 days and launching your new career. And but basically, it's taught me, like, moving forward, I need to be more focused on that priority, because if you really want something to happen, you should really be allocating the time to do it. And I thought I was, but I wasn't. Lesson 4. I heard once that one of the greatest skills that you can acquire is the ability to be in a good mood, regardless of whether or not there's something to be in a good mood about. And I really love that, because when I was in A&E, sitting waiting to be seen, and when I was getting seen by the nurse said to me, "You're definitely one of the happiest double arm breaks that I've ever had in here." And she's right, I was in a kind of funny mood. Now, I said to my wife when I got back, listen, I know how much I'm leaving you in the shit here, because we have 2 young kids and I can't lift them, I can't do anything. If I'm in a very chirpy, happy mood, I don't want you to think that I am not taking this seriously and I don't realize how bad I've left you in the shit. It's just that I have to stay positive here. Otherwise, I'm going to spiral. So instead, I took all of that negative energy and I turned it into something else. So when I sat in A&E, I made a pact with myself and I said, listen, by the end of this time that you're locked down here, healing, recovering, I want you to have achieved something. I want you to have moved forward in something so far that you're going to say, thank fuck I broke both my arms. Because if you're able to do that, then you can turn most things around. I've had a lot of tribulations in my life. There's been a lot of tough tests, and I've always managed to stay positive and move forward and use them. And I think that is a real skill that I never quite gave myself enough credit for. But lo and behold, 4 weeks later, I have created something that I've been trying to do for months. I've learned so much about marketing and advertising and education and writing and content and all that. And I am in such a better place since the start of this sabbatical that I've been on. So it's definitely been a success in that respect. And number 5, what's number 5? Oh yeah, number 5. I've been making YouTube videos for a wee while now, and I haven't really felt like they've connected with an audience yet, and I don't think YouTube knows who to show them to. And it can be a little bit demoralizing in a way because you're making videos that you think are good and they're not landing. And that's just the game. That's just the nature of it. But I think the things that I've been making videos about before have been too constricted by what I think I need to do to build an audience or whatever. And I've decided that I don't give a fuck about all that anymore. Now, moving forward, I am going to make things that I think are interesting, that represent the journey that I am on. And right now, coming out of this 4, 5, 6 week spell where I haven't had any work, been at a bit of a financial loss after the tax year ending and all that kind of stuff, massive tax bill just being paid, I am going to have to knuckle down now more than I ever have. I'm a pretty laid back guy when it comes to my work. I only work 20, 25 hours a week. I always appreciate time when I'm not working, and I always prioritize that time if possible. If I get a couple of jobs in a month that pay the bills, I stop looking for work because that's the career that I've built myself. But I'm going to have to knuckle down a little bit more, and it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be using all the skills that I've learned in marketing and advertising, and I'm going to spend the next few months trying to upscale my business a bit and seeing where I can take it. There's a few personal things happening in my life that have caused us to need more money coming in. We're no longer as comfortable as we were just with what we're making. I mean, everything is more expensive these days anyway. We're all getting shafted by billionaires or whatever. I figured that this could be an interesting journey to document. So I'm just going to be making content about it, and I'm not going to be precious about making sure it's all lit nicely and all that anymore. Those days are gone. It's going to be a lot more relaxed, a lot more free-flowing, and it's just going to be all about, well, first of all, it's going to be about the next few weeks and months and me building up this business and seeing where I can go with this, because at the moment I've been going at this level and I need to go at this level. So if you're doing a similar thing, and if you're in a similar situation, if you broke both your arms, I'm just joking, but if you're trying to build your video business up and make more money, scale it up, get more clients, get more interesting jobs, bigger contracts, retainers, whatever, then it's probably worth following along on the journey, because that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be sharing everything. That's my 5 lessons. And because you stayed to the end, I'm going to share a 6th lesson that I learned. And that is why people just hold the mic like this. So today when I came into the studio, I've not been in here for a while. I haven't seen any of my kit for ages. And I was looking for the little Ursa tape that I usually use to tape on my lav mic. And I usually slip this little DJI receiver in my pocket. Because in my trade, you can't just clip it on there. You just can't. I couldn't find all that shit. And I was like, where's the mic? Where's this? Maybe I could get the shotgun out. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to hold it. And it's so much easier. And at the end of the day, does it matter? No, this is probably what you want to see. This is what the people want to see. It's content. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. Anyway, it's been lovely to have you in the studio. It's been so nice to be back. Expect more stuff coming from upstairs in the big space and less of the stuffy office shit. That's it. And if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you. And be safe out there. Watch those arms, and I'll see you in the next one.